This is like 1930. So while he's being a member of Garvey's team as a secretary, he's changed his name now, according to the FBI files, to Robert Black. Right? So now Elijah Muhammad has a direct link to Garvey and a direct link to Noble Drew Ali. Okay, now fast forward. Yahweh bin Yahweh, Hulan Mitchell, Hulan X. Elijah Muhammad sent him to cover the doctrine of the Hebrew Israelite. Puddin, Father God Allah, Clarence, 13X. He told Elijah that he had to go get the young children that couldn't tolerate the strict discipline of the FOI in the Nation of Islam, and he had to organize the ones that's going to be smoking weed on the corner, hustling the block. They had to be organized as well as a tribe unto themselves because they behave the same.
Yeah.
So he used the 120 as the teaching tool in order to give them their piece to the puzzle in order to talk across the land and tell us what's going on the land. Right? So now when we see the symbols, we know what's going on. So we see an artist like King Sun as a West Coast 5%. Right? So and then he had an affiliation with the Bloods. So now we're seeing connections, right? Who else was under Elijah Muhammad? Siraj Wahaj was a former member of the Nation of Islam, right? So all of the different fields of knowledge. Malachi Yorks would say he was never a member of the Nation of Islam because he attended Sheikh Dawood's temple or masjid.
Indeed.
Right? But he also encountered and learned from fruits in exchange and study groups. Right? So this is part of the come up. So he's getting to see what the Nation of Islam is like while he's also studying Islam under Sheikh Dawood. Right? And he gets to see the difference. Now he in New York in the thick of everything that's going on. Right? So he got the Hebrew Israelites around him. He got the Moors around him. He got the Nation of Islam around him. He got the Black Mafia around him. He got these young gangs all over the city, all around him, and they all absorbing the information. So they all come from different walks of life, and they all meet up in something called a hip-hop generation.
Bam.
So you got 50-year-old, white-haired, wrinkle-faced, pale-skinned politicians bumping Tupac and Biggie to this day. The guys like what's my man from they got kicked off the news being an asshole.
Which
anyway,
one? Oh.
he was a prominent newscaster, had his own show and shit. I think he was on MSNBC.
Shit, I don't know.
But he's a dirtbag anyway. They begin to they be listening to Tupac and Biggie now.
Oh yeah.
You know, they are Snoop Dogg is in Hillary Clinton's playlist. you seeing the hip hop generation is getting the influence, even though they fighting against it. They even influenced by it.
Yeah,
it's unmistakable and undeniable. This music is the force and power of the warrior souls of the youth.
Indeed.
Right. So we bumping the 808 because it's the war drum.
And then, just like you talking about, as far as the infiltrators come in, they come back in the 90s and they flip it all into gangster rap when it was all positive.
Right. Matter of fact, they had a whole meeting in 91 to subvert conscious rap and to bring gangster rap to the forefront.
To the forefront, yep. Professor Griff did a whole he nailed that with that book he did, you know, in lectures, man. He went in on it. But yeah, you know, like you said earlier, who's it against you? You know what I'm saying? Yep. Yeah. So I'm gonna go another route now. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, you know, in information, you know, I always used to hear the black woman is God, right? And, you know, I'm like, cool, my mom God, you know what I'm saying? My mate, she, my mom black, she, you know, she birthed me, you know what I'm saying? And so on and so on. I see all these great things, right? You know what I'm saying? Now, fast forward to the time I got introduced to the Mama Zogbe and the Sybil, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there reading this book, and I'm like, I had no clue what these sisters, how powerful and what they were doing, back then. So here's a question. You can, roll with it, how you feel. But could you paint a picture of our original culture as being matriarch,
Mm-hmm.
it going through a time frame and then the flip happening, okay? And we're losing and going to patriarch and now the rise of matriarchy. Could you kind of, walk us through that, please?
Okay, so the story is best told as the story of Oshun,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when you want the backstory, that's the story you go look for,
Okay.
right? Under the patriarchs, when the men take power, they're supposed to take power in times of war, not
Mm-hmm.
in times of peace, right? So patriarchy got have its purpose until it's weaponized against the divine feminine, right? And in order to weaponize the patriarchal position, you have to refuse the right of the mother to get in her rightful position in the household. This is why they're trying to convince women to go out into the work world. Every woman don't want to work. Some women want to stay home and fine tune the home environment so they can create heaven on earth for their family, right? So the science of this is called feng shui, right? The women who are the matriarchs, they are often accused of having OCD, right? Because they always cleaning something. They always organizing something, primping something. That behavior in any other species is called nesting, right? Now,
Mm-hmm.
they call it nesting when an expectant mother is about to have a baby and she cleaned the whole fucking house up at 9 months pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
But if she can keep it up and continue to do it, now she got OCD.
Yeah, yeah.
But what they don't understand is that process, what they call nesting, is actually her tuning her chakras and her portal, her vajayjay, into the frequency of the love energy. She's bonding with her child in the nesting phase. She can continue to bond with the child after the child is born by continuing with the nesting behavior. And
Mm-hmm.
this is where we understand how to raise children,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
By observing the natural phenomenon, we understand that the human women normally form circles around the children as they teach them things until the boys are old enough to go out with the father into the bush and take his rites of passage to becoming a man,
Mm-hmm.
right? In the early years, the fathers, he playing with his kids like every other father, but for a period of time, he's supposed to be in the hands of the mother to get certain critical starter lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Because the pair binding that they made is for her to teach him the basics to reading and writing,
Mm-hmm.
the basics to bathing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then when she passed him over to the father, that part the father don't have to take care of now. He can start teaching him the culture, start teaching him how to live off the fat of the land, how to hunt.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
How to be live off grid if need be.
Mm-hmm.
How to live in the system, how to manage money,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you know that your wife handle money better than you, if she's your wife and she really your wife and you really feel that way, she's supposed to handle the money,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you supposed to make sure that it continue to come in so she can continue to generate heaven at home. So every time
Mm-hmm.
you're not out in the getting substance from the world to return back to the nest, when you get to the nest, you got heaven on earth.
That's it.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So the women are the only people on the planet that you're getting in this motherfucker through as a human.
Yeah.
You're not coming in without going through the portal of life, and it's only owned by females.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck what the elemental P people say.
Mm-hmm.
Right? A woman
Yeah.
is born genetically female at birth,
Mm-hmm.
grows up, goes through puberty, learns the ways of the woman, and that's how she get to be a woman instead of a girl or a young lady. Right? So if you're born with testicular fortitude and phallic elation, you are not a woman. You can't be a woman. It's just physiologically, genetically impossible. Even if they chop you up and remove your mainstream pieces, your DNA still gonna say you're a man.
Yeah.
Right? Which changes the whole understanding of what's taking place in the world. In order to attack the divine feminine, you have to remove the divine masculine because he will protect her to the end of the earth. Right? And this is what's going to call all of the tribesmen together to rally around the women when they start coming together saying, hey, they gave it back, clean it up.
Yeah. Our turn.
Yeah. Unapologetically assert our position from our culture. That's all. If we assert our position from our culture using our traditional ways, there's nothing they can do but honor our instructions. We're going to see Larry and Angel Bay soon. I just don't know the date.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this. This government is in the process of transition. Right? DC is closed. The White House closed. The Senate closed. What they call the State House. Whatever the fuck that motherfucker is.
Yeah.
That shit closed. The Federal Reserve is closed. IRS is closed. Y'all, the people just still participating in their shenanigans. That's why people not getting their income tax check. Ain't nobody hardly there.
Now, you know, the good brother, Rod Hayes, he don't ask for nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna go ahead and put his cash app here so y'all, you know, we all need support. We all need to do a thing. Well, I'm sorry, what is the cash app, brother?
$, capital S, lowercase IK, capital A, lowercase PE.
One more time, please, to make sure I got it right.
Capital SIK, capital APE.
All right, we'll put on here. Okay, yeah. So please support the brother here. I'm gonna stick it right here, so we're gonna run it across here because I mean, you know, this brother could be doing something else, but instead he's taking the time to wake us up. You know what I mean? And even an individual like me that's, you know, been around some great master teachers, you know what I'm saying? You know, good brothers like this that are coming with it. You know what I'm saying? We got to respect that. We got to support these brothers, man. We got to support them.
People don't know. I walked away from a good job. I had everything I needed. I had everything I wanted. I ain't want nothing. Right? But my mama, my old lady, and my son grandmama felt like we needed to do something to clean this shit up. So they volunteered me. I hate social media with a passion, but I love my people more than I hate social media.
That's the truth. That's so true, brother. You know what I'm saying? I tell folks all the time. That's why I never even post. I hardly ever post nothing. Everything I got to post is doing something to try to uplift us, man. You can have that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't even care nothing about. There we go. Let me put that back up here. That's it, right? SIKAPE, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
They might be able to find it wrote like that.
What do you say?
They might be able to find it wrote like that.
Okay.
But only the S and the A is capital.
All right, let me fix that then. Only the S and the A is capital. Let's see. Only the S and the A is capital. So that's a K. That's an I. Oh, I see what's happening. I see what's happening. There we go. Only the K and I. Okay. I gotta get this right here so we can get the good brother. It's a K-A-P-E. Only the K and the I. There we go. Gotta take this time out to fix it, family. Got to take this time to fix this because I want this. I want this under the K and I. Okay, cool. We got it. Yeah, because I mean, like I said, we got to support these good brothers like this, man. Because I'm gonna tell you something. I see sincerity. You know what I'm saying? Every time I put on a clip, I just see that you love your folks and you're trying to uplift folks and and you ain't just you trying to help us all humanity. You know what I'm saying? And I love that as well. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's needed. Okay, so the civil, getting back to the civil. Okay, so historically speaking, you know what I mean? Like in reading the book, the Mama Zagbe book, and just reading about that, because I was reading things like they knew the power of these women, you know what I mean? And they used to do stuff like, they used to make them keep their doors open, you know what I'm saying? So they could watch them all the time. They knew their power, so there was a full-on extent to just suppress them. Like what type time frame are we talking about as far as like it's just like
you heard the Salem witch hunts, right?
yes.
That's the most recent episode of the same repeat cycle of undermining those women that would wake up to other women. You never were right. The S.
Oh, hold on. Let me fix this mess, man.
The S and the A is the only capitals.
Oh, you said the S and the A. You said the S and the A. Let me fix this, man. The S and the A. Let's get this right. So we got a lowercase k, lowercase k, the S and the A, right? You said?
Yeah.
S and A. So that's right there. Let me see. S, capital S, I, K, capital S, lowercase I, lowercase k, A, P, E, correct?
Capital A, lowercase p, lowercase e.
Yeah, got you. Let's take a look at that real quick before we move on, because like I said.
Got it.
Yeah, perfect. All right, cool. Sorry about that, fam. We went back to the civil now. I had to get that right so we got to get the support to the good brother. So, okay, Salem witch hunt.
Right. So when you go back and you review the record, you'll see that there's one episode where all of the girls start doing a dance. They was all doing the same dance in different parts of the town. Right. And they murdered them all because this is called hiving.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And this is what the practice that the whirling dervishes do when they spinning around. Right. They are trying to stir up mitochondrial energy by becoming a centrifuge. The gravitational pull on the body releases certain enzymes in the blood that powers the DNA to try to discover what's taking place because it's giving you the sensation that you're in the centrifuge. Right? And the enzyme that it produces gives added charge to the mitochondria. But the men can only raise it so high, and then that's high as it'll go without the aid of a woman. Right? And it doesn't stay. When the dervish get done doing or the Sufi, all of the Sufi rites are the rites that the women of these civil priestesses are supposed to be practicing. Because they want to turn their mitochondrial up. We talking about going from a 3-foot aura to like a 60-foot aura. Right? And being able to instantaneously heal people just by the people stepping inside of the aura. Right? So who touched my hem of the garment? And the Savior didn't see, but he turned around and said, somebody touched me. How do they know if you didn't see and they only touched the hem of the garment? How do you know they touched you? I felt it, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right? How did you feel it? It was within the confines of my energy grid. When the person stepped in the energy grid, they absorbed the energy that powers the mitochondria. And the mitochondria powers the DNA, and the DNA begin to activate as a crystalline light body in order to heal the body, in order for all of these things to balance out in your system.
Mm-hmm. So that's heavy, man. So I mean, and these are the sciences that only a small individual, small groups of. Now, let me ask you this question: different things like this. Is this certain things that the sisterhoods, like your Mama Wati and all these other sisterhoods, that they still have that type of information that they're still, holding on to? I mean,
well, you still have long lines of yoni priestesses.
Mm-hmm.
You got long lines of doulas.
Yeah.
You have long lines of midwives
Mm-hmm.
that has been family tradition passed down.
Mm-hmm.
The difference in the midwife and the doula is the midwife has access to Western medicine as well as the traditional rites.
Yeah.
Right. So they normally will have a nurse practitioner in Western science perform the functions as the midwife. Because she's a doctor and she can write prescriptions and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So